Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the latest update for Moonstone Island. So, recently they just released their latest update, which is the Halloween update. So, it comes with a lot of free items in game, like there's new things that you can craft, and then there's some tweaks that they made, as well as a new DLC pack that they actually just released. I'm going to be covering most of what the update has to offer, but in case I miss a few things or in case I can't cover all of them, I'm going to be leaving the patch notes in the description of the video below. So feel free to check it out if you have the time. But for now, I'm going to be covering the rest of the update. So first off, for part of the update, well, there are a few things that they added, but one of the things that I'm really excited to show you that they've added is the new spirits. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of spirits. Like all of these are like from like when the game was released. Most of these as well. Like this guy right here, it's just like a hollow guy, but he's been here for a while. But we have some new ones, specifically this one down here, Wormer. So as you can see, Wormer is a earth type. So it's a cute little worm. You know, it's a cute little worm that lives in a little apple. And he has a nice little like passive ability, you know? So his passive is that if you have him following you, walking through any patch of grass, you know, you're gonna immediately just cut it down. Like you don't need to bust out your scythe or anything. Wormer will just eat all that grass for you and you get all of the grass in your inventory. Right? So he's a nice little addition to your party if you want to farm a lot of grass, you want to craft a lot of things, you know, you're going to use a lot of cloth. Wormer would be a nice addition to your party. And he is the first of the 3 new spirits that they've added to the game. So, as I mentioned, this is a Halloween update, right? So we gotta add some spoopy characters. One of them is your fun little skeleton boy here, or Bonefire. So we look at Bonefire here. Obviously, he's a fire spirit. So Wormer is an earth spirit, so he can be found in any of the normal like grass areas. So the normal areas with like just like trees and grass, where you can find most earth spirits, you'll find Wormer there. He'll just spawn randomly. Bonefire, obviously, a fire spirit, so he'll be spawning in the fire islands like these here, these dark red ones here, and then Wormer will be in these light green ones like this one here with the waterfall and everything, and also usually these ones down here. This one looks like a lemon. But let's go back to Bonefire. So Bonefire is obviously a fire type and he has a nice little passive here. So whenever you banish an enemy, or rather defeat an enemy spirit with burn, so the next turn that you'll have an extra energy. So it's a really nice buff, you know, if you're going for like big combos that require like a lot of energy, you'll definitely want Bonefire, especially if you're always like applying burn on your enemies. Especially for like later on into the game, you're going to be fighting some very high level spirits as you start to go like outside of the ring of where Moonstone Island is. The enemies start to become like level 50, level 60, and they're really, really tough. So Bonefire and having a burn comp would probably be really, really nice. Personally, I really like the dot comps. So I like poison, fire. I think that those ones are like really, really strong. And last up in our lineup of new spirits, we have this cute little kitty over here that's been rocking around since earlier, Catskit. This was the last one I actually captured. And so let's take a look at Catskit. So Catskit is a dark type, so that means we're going to be finding him in the dark islands, which are usually in the outer ring of the map, because they are usually always like the very strong like spirits, right? But speaking of the ring on the outer map, so if you look at my map right now, so I played this during the release of the game actually. So most of my islands, if you can notice, are usually fire. And then like the ones on the outer ring, and the other one is like dark. I have some electric, but for the most part, it's just fire, fire. All of them are like fire, and then we have dark. So the way the game works, right, is like it's a ring. So it starts with Moonstone Island in the center, and the further you get out, like the way that you get to the edges of the map, the stronger the spirits are gonna be. So the thing is, most of the people's games, I thought it was just mine, but apparently other people as well, most of their islands on the outer ring, if not all of their islands in the outer ring, are either dark or fire. So they fixed that up. So now, in like maybe your game, if you start a new game now, or if you're just getting the game today, or you're getting the game like maybe in a few days, you'll be finding like the outer ring could maybe have like strong earth spirits, because there might be an earth island there, or there might be an electric island there, or there might even be a beach island there. So you'll be able to get like very strong like spirits of any type depending on how your map will load. And that's one of the other updates. So let's go back to Casket. Let's just look over him real quick. So Casket is a dark type with the Raise the Dead passive. So when you banish a spirit, so Casket steals up to 10 HP from each enemy. Notice that it says each, right? So the reason why it says each is because it's not just going to take 10 HP from like the total HP that the person you defeated has. Every opponent on the field, Casket will be taking some of their HP when you defeat them. So if you don't have a good healer, like maybe you don't have Octopup, or you don't have like one of the waters to like regen, you can just sub them for a good Casket. He'll like be able to heal himself as you defeat enemies. You can just like build energy with like maybe a psychic type, and then you could build like a dark psychic team. That would be pretty fun, honestly. So that's some of the updates that they have so far, but they also have a little quality of life stuff, like when you fight. Well, it's not really quality of life. One of the other things they actually have is like they had a little bug. So Thunder Plus, I believe, or something like that. I'll put the name of the skill on screen in case I'm wrong. So this skill used to say that it hits like 4 times. I believe it was the Thunder Plus used to say that it hits 4 times, but instead of hitting 4 times, it only hits 3. So in actuality, what they really wanted to do was that they wanted the skill to only hit for 3, but the card said that it hit for 4. So they just changed the text and changed it over to 3. Right. And then another one of the updates that we have so far for now is that they upgraded the greenhouse. So before, your greenhouse only used to be half this size. So now they allowed you to be able to build an even bigger greenhouse. So now my greenhouse is twice the size of the original greenhouse. So if you wanted to grow things before, like wanted to grow more of like healing items, or maybe wanted to grow more of just a flower, you can now grow them now. You have a lot more space. Speaking of things that you can grow, before you could only grow like flowers, like all of the other crops, right, for for like healing or taming, those kinds of things, right? But now, one of the neat little things that they updated, right, is because they had a little bit of deforestation problems. The moment you take any tree, find any rock, it's just gone forever. So they added a little thing here. Since you can stack up your gold pretty high if you're like farming properly and you're selling the right things, you can go to Ophelia and Guyana's little shop here, and you can now buy saplings. You can also buy rocks. So if you want to like start a rock farm or a sapling farm, you can just plant these down and grow them up. I don't think trees actually drop any saplings, so you can't really make an infinite farm, but the more gold you get, you can just buy more of these trees and more of these rocks, and you can plant them around the place. And then that will help fill up like the empty voids that you've probably made from farming all that wood and all that rock, which probably is quite a bit because I do remember my greenhouse upgrade actually cost me 500 wood and 500 stone. So the upgrade materials and the other things that you might need do cost quite a bit, so it's really nice to be able to have the option that we can like now grow more trees, especially the trees, because you might need them a lot. And if you do a lot of things with like the loom, for example, if you're running out of grass, you can also buy grass as well. So let's see what that looks like real quick, right? So we can mosey over back to my tent or my area real quick so that I can show you guys what that looks like. So here will be fine. So we can try, oops, let's do that. We can try and put some grass down here. So it looks like that. See, it's just like a full stack of grass, which you can then farm to get some more if you need. See? And then, like rocks, you can put that down as well. And now, let's try the little sapling that we just bought. Okay, put that down right here. See? And now we can accelerate the growth real quick so we can see what it looks like as a full tree. I believe it should look more like the smaller one here. It doesn't grow into a full-grown tree immediately. You'd have to probably wait a while for it to mature, or I don't know if it just stays as it is, as like the smaller version of the tree. And you should be a little careful, especially if you're on the earlier stages of the game, because it does consume quite a bit of stamina. And if you've been going around the dungeons quite a bit, you might have been seeing like very beautiful chests that you get from the bosses, and you want to like bring them home and have a beautiful treasury. Well, now you can. So actually, one of the updates that they made is that now the boss chests are collectible. You can, because if you've seen my last video, you can actually know, you would have actually known that I mentioned that when you go into dungeons, when you go into mines, you can actually pick up chests in case you don't want to spend your valuable resources making them, right? So now you can pick up the boss chest and you get to keep the design. So now it looks very fancy, and you can put it down wherever you'd like. See? It works just like a regular chest. Sadly, it doesn't have more slots than a normal chest, but it still does look really cool, like compared to like, let's say here a normal chest, right? You can store all of your valuables and fancy items in your big fancy chest. Sadly, there are some like smaller chests usually in dungeons that are like these, like the normal chest here, but they're usually blue and have a gold trim. You can't keep the design of those, but I still think that it's really nice that you can keep the boss chest at least. It makes a very nice storage for like, if you're gonna put it in your home, you could put it next to your bed. You could make a treasury room where you wanna like, to display all of your beautiful items. You could keep your boss chest there, have it as a nice display. One of the other things that they actually added to the game, which is a really nice update I think, is that, for example, right here, before what you had to do was you had to like maybe you had to like drag this entire stack here if you want to move a stack of items, or you have to like press E or right click in order to like move them all together. Like normally it's fine, you know, if you have just like a few items, but if you have like, let's say for example here, nope, not that chest, like for example here, right, I have like 300 stacks of wood, so say even 4. So the thing is, before you couldn't really like click them to like move them. The only way to click them would be like you have to spam right click, or you actually just pick up the entire stack and you have to drag it, go back down, drag it. Now you don't have to do that. Now there's an option here that says like hold shift to transfer stack. So what that means is you just hold shift and then you can right click it, and now it just goes into your inventory or it goes into your chest, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. It just actually eases the process of like sorting your items, which I think is one of the best updates that they've added actually so far. And while I'm having in my house, one of the things that they also did add, oops, let me get this is this little thing here. So if you can see these potions, well, obviously they're the Abundance Potion, Rage Cleanse Potion, all of these potions that you already had before. But there's one little new potion here at the end, which is the Skill Reset Potion. So, as it says, drinking this potion allows you to reallocate skill points in the skill tree. So, just requires 3 Dream Drop and a glass bottle, which, if you're fair enough into the game and you have a Spirit Barn, and you've upgraded your skill tree a little bit, this shouldn't be too hard to get, right? So all of these items are fairly easy as long as you have the barn. And you can reset as much as you'd like or whenever you'd like. And so what's the benefit of doing this? Well, let's move over to my mirror and let me show you. So for example, we have these little skills here that are locked. And why are they locked? Because what this little link here means is that you can really only have one or the other skill. So this is actually a really good example of why you'd want a skill reset potion, because one of them is like, oh, maybe you made a mistake, you misclicked, and now you want to change it because you never really liked that skill, or you tried it for a little bit and you're like, I don't really like this. But another reason, like, you'd want to reset, this is something that I might actually do later on, is that when I played the game initially, I wanted to like get a strong spirit, like immediately. I wanted to go to the dark islands, I wanted to capture a strong spirit, and I wanted to be able to use that spirit to beat the game, because the spirits on the dark island are so incredibly strong. But I needed the Tame Wizard to get it because my spirits levels were a bit low. So the only way for me to really tame them is for me to get Master Spirit Mancer, which makes me get any level of like spirit, and then Tame Wizard would help me further to get the spirit because it will increase my chances. But now I'm kind of done with that, and I don't really need to like be too sweaty when it comes to spirits. So I can actually just like use the spirits that I want, and like while I'm gathering wood and I'm gathering stone for any of the things that I want to build, they could be gaining XP while I do that. And how do I do that? I just have them follow me in the overworld, and I use the skill Spirit Walker. So Spirit Walker allows me to just have my spirits following me, and when I walk around the town doing some small daily tasks, or going around to different islands and gathering wood and stone so that I can upgrade all of my other things, they'll be leveling up, they'll be getting stronger. So I won't need to be necessarily fighting other spirits in order to gain XP. So that's why I think Spirit Walker is a really nice skill to have. Right? Speaking of a little quality of life things, right? So one of the other updates rather that they've given us in the patch is that they gave us a little new gameplay feature. So all of these things have always been here before. You might have seen me talk about the sprint option before in my previous video. I didn't cover these, but these are actually very important as well, where we can increase the spawn rate of spirits. If you'd like to maybe catch a hollow spirit, looking for a specific spirit, you can raise the rate of which spirits spawn, or you could lower it if you're just not in the mood to fight and you'd rather just like go around and explore. You can lower the spawn rate of the spirits. And if you're not really the type to like do fighting, you know, you're not really in it for the combat, you're more in it for the relaxing, like calming mood and setting that Moonstone Island gives, and you just want to get that really nice experience of being a witch or an alchemist flying through the sky and building this house and all of these things, then you can lower the battle difficulty. No one will judge you, it's fine. Or if you're like a tryhard and you want to fight a lot of spirits and you're in it for like the card-based combat, and you want to min-max and destroy all of your enemies, but you want a challenge, you know, you can set it to hard. But this is the latest one that they added, this little option here, which is day length. So for a lot of people, if you're just gathering materials or you're just doing anything really, and you don't want to have the hassle of like setting up your tent or going back home to reach your bed before you pass out, or you're just tired of making Waldo pick you up over and over again, you can now extend the length of the day. So, as you can see, I have it already on the longest because I wanted to be able to go around without having to like go to bed for now. I want to be able to go and explore the update. So I have it set on longest, but if you want it to be like the normal setting, it's here. But there's actually 3 options, which is default, then there's longer, and then there's longest. So you can adjust it to what feels the best for you, what suits your playstyle the most. For me, I want to explore a lot, and I don't want to have to keep going to bed, so I put it on the longest. But if I would like to transition through the days faster, maybe I'm looking for a specific day, maybe I'm trying to go to someone's birthday, then I would probably put it on default. Speaking of birthdays, a nice little update that they actually added is the ability to give anyone a gift on their birthday. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that you can give anyone, like any NPC. I should have been a bit more specific. So what I do mean by that is that if you gave, for example, here we have Farah coming up, her birthday's on the 8th. If you give her a gift in that week, like you've already given her 2 gifts, right? Or maybe that's a bad example because she starts at the beginning of the week. But the point being, if someone has a birthday, like say their birthday's on Friday, and you gave them a gift on Tuesday and Wednesday, before you couldn't give them a gift anymore because you've already given them 2 gifts before that. But now, so if you've given Farah a gift already like on Monday and Tuesday and her birthday was on Wednesday, even though her stat, or rather her gift giving or gift receiving ability is maxed out because she can only receive 2 per week, since it's her birthday, she'll still allow 1 more gift. She'll let you give her an extra gift because, you know, it's her birthday. She wants to feel special. And that goes for every NPC. That's not just Farah. So every NPC on their birthday, even if you've already given them 2 gifts, you can still give them an extra 3rd. And another thing they actually updated as well is that, of course, it's a Halloween update, so they want to be a little spooky. They added some extra cosmetics. So these are all free, obviously, so these are all part of the base game. So we have a gravestone that you can add outside, some skeletons, we have a tongue rug, and a iron bat archway. So all of these you can place outside of your house as well. It doesn't really need to be inside of the house. And you can actually place your house and these decorations, well, on any island. You can bring it to the Dark Island, you can bring it to the Lava Island, you can place a house and these decorations anywhere as long as it's not really within town. Well, certain areas of town. And one way that you can actually put up your house properly in town so that things, you know, of course you don't want to like go out of your tent and then execute the spirit right in front of you. One way that they actually say that you can prevent that is that you build walls around where you live. So if you put walls around where you live on any island, that should prevent spirits from spawning next to your house. So that's a little tip. And here are also the additional cosmetic items that they're giving away for free with the base game. If you would like to get like some additional cosmetics, like they offer, I believe, 1 house skin. So the house skin is that your house gets to become a giant jack-o'-lantern. You can get that if you buy their DLC, which is called the, let me double check here, I believe it's called the Eerie Items DLC. So the Eerie Items DLC comes with, you know, a few other things aside from the jack-o'-lantern house, obviously. So it comes with things like, I believe it comes with some cobweb like items. It also has some other kind of rugs, things like that. So if you're into cosmetics and you want to like decorate for Halloween, I would highly suggest picking up this DLC right now while it's still on sale. So actually, the base game itself, Moonstone Island, is on sale right now until I believe November 10th. Nope, I just checked. I'm wrong. So it's not November 10th. The sale is until November 7th. So you can get the base game off by 20%, and you can buy the bundle, the collector's edition bundle actually, which includes some DLC, the Eerie item pack, and also what looks to be the soundtrack, and also an art book. Which honestly, I think that the art for Moonstone Island is really beautiful. So I definitely think that the art book would definitely be worth it. And actually, there is another DLC for Moonstone Island that's not just the Halloween DLC, which is actually it's called here the Delightful Little Comforts DLC, which comes with another skin for the house, which is called the Fancy House. Comes with some other decorative cosmetic items like the Moonstone Rising painting, some moon and star decorations, and some chairs and a rug. So if you're into cosmetics and you want to add stuff to your game, I think now is actually the best time to get like all of these DLCs. You could even get it with the base game, and it would probably, and you'll still save a lot of money since, like, again, all of these things are on sale right now. Another thing that they've added to the update is now, for example, if you have this little hole here and you don't really like it being there, if you think that it's annoying and you want to get rid of it, you can actually close mines now. So as you can see, I haven't collected all the chests in this mine yet, so they won't let me close it up. But you can absolutely close the mines now. So it's nice that they give you a little warning here, right? So if you haven't collected all the chests, you can't close the mine because they want you to be able to get all that treasure. There might be an important item that you might need. So they're going to let you go around more and collect the treasure before they allow you to close it. But if, for example, like this hole here, I have collected all of the chests here. So they're going to ask me with a prompt that if I close this mine, it's going to close forever. And you cannot find any more mines on this island if you've already found like the mine for the island, right? So I believe for Moonstone Island specifically, there are 2 mines. But for every other island, there's only 1 mine per island. So if you close this mine, you won't find any other mines ever. So I would advise before you close these mines, be a little careful because there might be ore down there that you haven't mined that you might want to get. They might have some rocks. These are very good sources of getting ores and rocks, not only just like treasure chests, right? So be very careful before closing them. I will not be closing this one just yet. Let me do a quick save because I think I haven't finished mining all of the things there yet. So I'll just save first, but I'm going to close it for you guys to see what it looks like. So if you close it, it's just gone. So it's just like a flat land and like the hole is just gone. And you can never discover another mine on this island though. That's the only downside. So that's all I'm going to be covering for the update of Moonstone Island. There are some small other tweaks and changes that they made. If you'd like to check them out, I'll be leaving a link to the patch notes in the description of the video below. But while you're there, why not give this video a little like and give me a little subscribe so you're updated for any other new videos I'll be releasing in the future. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And that's all from me for now, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.